Great Chefs Television presents The New Garde, a culinary collection from some of Louisiana's outstanding young chefs. This time from Bayona, Susan Spicer. From the Versailles, Dennis Hutley. And Mary Saunier, pastry chef at Gabrielle.
Susan Spicer's impressive credentials include stints in some of New Orleans' great restaurants. She worked with Daniel Bono at Louis XIV, then chefed at Savoir Faire, Henri, and opened the kitchen of the bistro at Maison de Ville. Over this period, she has gained considerable national prominence. From Bayona, her popular French Quarter restaurant, she offers an inventive starter: grilled shrimp with black bean cake.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is marinate the shrimp for the grilled shrimp part of this dish. I'm going to start with a little oil. This can be just peanut oil or olive oil. And we have some ground whole coriander seed, a little bit of chili powder, give it a nice color, ground cumin, and a little salt, pepper, and a tiny bit of garlic. Don't need too much. I'm just going to mix these ingredients. And you really don't need a whole lot of oil, just enough to sort of act as a medium for the seasoning ingredients. These are nice Gulf shrimp that have been peeled and deveined. You can butterfly them if you want, but you don't have to, so we're just want to throw them in there.
Marinate the shrimp for 20 minutes.
So you can skewer your shrimp and then just pour the marinade over them, or let them sit in the marinade and skewer them at the last minute, however you want to go. What we're going to serve the shrimp with is a black bean cake. And I've got these black turtle beans that have been cooking for a while, just with water and a bay leaf.
Chef Spicer seasons the black beans with chopped onion, bell pepper, jalapeno pepper, and garlic.
I like to saute the seasonings before I put them in there, because it just seems to kind of get the flavors working and blending a little bit. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and put this right on in here. This back over here. And I'm going to add some more of the seasonings. We use ground cumin, a little bit of the chili powder, and give it a nice little depth and a little complexity. We use a little bit of honey and vinegar to balance each other. This is actually what the final, well, not the final, but the bean cake is going to look after it's been pureed. Now you can either puree them in a RoboCoupe or a Cuisinart, or you can just cook them and stir them until they break up and thicken up. But then you're going to cool them and form them into little hockey pucks like this, which is a shape that it's real easy to do once they're chilled. And we're going to dust those lightly with flour and saute them for the final.
Chef Spicer begins the coriander sauce for the shrimp with chopped shallots.
Not really sure what it is about shallots that are just so right for some sauces, where an onion or a scallion or some other member of the family wouldn't do quite as well. They add such a nice richness and interesting flavor to every sauce. They're so universal and adaptable. This is just going to be a little reduction sauce with a lot of different flavors. I've got the zest. We're going to do the zest and juice. of an orange. Pretty orange. Just, you can use a little hand juicer or reamer. Just make sure you don't get the seeds in there. Now we're going to sort of reinforce the coriander theme with the ground coriander. This is I call it coriander sauce. We use the seed and the fresh coriander, otherwise known as cilantro, in this dish. And we're gonna just chop up a little bit of the zest, kind of give it a little extra zip. Put that in there. And white wine, not that much. And then for interest, we're going to put in a little bit of sherry vinegar, and that counterbalances the orange juice, because I think cooking is all about balance. I think that's a real important factor. So you've got your three liquid ingredients, the white wine, the orange, and the sherry vinegar, and you've got your shallots and coriander, and you're just going to let that come up to a boil.
The black bean cakes are dusted with flour. Then they're sautéed in a little peanut oil.
The idea with sautéing the bean cakes is that you want them to get sort of a nice little crust on the outside, and make sure that you cook them long enough to have them be sort of a soft texture on the inside. Everybody's favorite combination. Crispy on the outside, creamy on the inside.
Note in the foreground, as the coriander sauce reduces, large bubbles begin to appear.
Give them a little turn. I usually turn them a couple of times during the process so that they cook evenly. You can also sear them on the outside and then just pop them in the oven.
Butter is added to the reduced sauce.
You want to keep the pan on the heat, but turn the heat down somewhat while you're doing it. Just take a whisk and start. And it's real good to have your butter soften before you start that. You don't want, it doesn't have to be rock hard. You don't want it melted by any means, but while we're doing that, I think we're getting pretty close to having everything ready. So I'm going to go ahead and put the shrimp on the grill. You can broil the shrimp, you can saute them, or you can do them on a barbecue. It's really doesn't matter that much.
About 6 ounces of butter have been incorporated into the sauce.
You make this sauce in advance, you just want to keep it someplace where it's warm. You don't want it to get cool because the butter will re-solidify, and you don't want that to happen. Let's see, I'll turn these. You're going to want to take them off. You don't want to overcook them. The final thing that we're going to do for the sauce is add nice fresh chopped cilantro. If this is not particularly your taste, you could add in a different, a lot of people, you know, cilantro is kind of a love-hate thing. So if you don't like cilantro but you like the idea of the dish, you can do some sort of a basil sauce or whatever your favorite herb is. It would work real nicely. Salt and pepper. Just a little sauce on each of the shrimp. And if you like, a little sour cream on top of the bean cake. Sprig of cilantro or whatever you decide to use sticking out of there. And there you go.